My friends, welcome to the Guitar Show. It's noon, November the 16th, and my background's a little bit different because I am in Florida. I'm really enjoying myself here with some family right now, just taking a little break, but I did not want to leave you guys in the lurch. So Mike set me up with a nice little mobile rig here, so it may not be as beautiful as a studio, but hopefully the sound is good and all that good stuff. So give me a thumbs up if you would, if you're hearing me, if you're seeing me fine. Actually, I'm looking at myself here. Let me see if I can hear myself. Ah, yeah, I'm fine. Okay, good. You don't even need to give me a thumbs up. Okay, so very quickly here, this is going to be more lecture style today. I obviously have a guitar today, but it's nothing like what I have back at the studio. So just a little baby Taylor here, and which is perfect because what we're going to be doing today anyhow is it's more of a lecture than it is anything else. It's more of some psychology and some understanding of how to approach learning the guitar. That's going to save you a massive amount of time. I'm not joking. Man, I wish that someone had taught me this growing up. They didn't. And I know a lot of folks out there are in the same place, man, where you say, should I practice scales? Should I practice modes? Do I need to learn chordal theory? Do I need to practice funk? Do I need to practice 12-bar blues? What do I need to practice? And so what I'm going to help you do today is to understand, I say this all the time. I say, what do you want? I woke up early this morning because we're just like less than a mile away from the beach. Watched the sunrise, walked on the beach, and I was kind of like reflecting over my life over the last last 25 years or so, because I've been to hell and back, and been in a beautiful place for decades now, but had a rough go of it. I've gotten into some of that before, but I was realizing that the reason that I got out of some of the situations that I were in, they're probably not as bad as you think they are, but just like divorce and bankruptcy and just a hellish experience. The reason that I got out of that is because I asked this question, and it was, what do I want? And I know that sounds kind of strange here for a guitar class, but I can promise you, if you give me a minute or a few minutes here, I promise you that this question will absolutely transform your life. It'll transform your guitar playing for sure, like that. There's no problem. But it will transform your life if you ask that question sincerely, and if you go after the things that you want. But you have to ask those things first. And we live in a society that does not ask those things. We feel guilty because we ask those things, okay? So without going into too much of a digression here, it's not a digression, but it's maybe some folks will think it's off topic. It's not off topic, but what we need to do is we need to focus on what it is that we want, and especially with this broadcast today, how to plan your guitar journey. It's really important that you ask this question. Okay, so let me give you some examples, specifically how we'll deal with guitar, and then you can transform this to anything in your life. I'm probably only going to speak about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes on this, and then I'm going to go straight into questions. So this is going to be more of a you and me type of thing today instead of me teaching for a long time and what have you. I really want to get to your specific problems and help you get to where it is that you want to go as quickly as possible. Cool? All right. So, when we're talking about the guitar journey, as you saw in the funny thumbnail there that Mike created, there's many paths that we can go when we're playing guitar, and a lot of people don't understand this. And so they see a video from this guy or that guy teaching this thing or that thing, and they're just grabbing onto all of it, and they're wondering why they're getting frustrated, and they're wondering why they are not getting to their goals, while they're not feeling that transformation in their playing or their lives. And it has everything to do, well, has much to do with the question, what do you want? Because that if we answer that question, what it will do, and the more precisely that we can answer that question, the more we can take out the things that we don't want, don't need, and we can focus on the things that we do need. When I ask some folks this question, they say, oh man, I want to know it all. They're the same folks that say, I want to know it right now. So there's something about the ego that says, I want to know it all. Great. You're not the first one to want that, and you're not the first one to want it now, and you're not the first one to want it without any sort of pain or without any sort of challenge or without any sort of practice. But all three of those don't exist, okay? We live in a real world where we have to choose a path, okay? We get on the road, we have to choose a path, what direction we're going to go. Otherwise, we're just doing donuts, okay? Or we're just not getting anywhere. So let's get more specific, because I would rather see someone get more specific and reach their goals any day of the week than hear a player who is just speaking from ego and wants to learn everything, and they don't have anything to show for it. They're not willing to practice. They're not willing to dig into the dirt. If you want to know everything, then you better make your life committed to the guitar. This is going to happen every now and then. I'm not too sure why it is that my GoPro does this. Now, this is my beautiful, fantastic, dear Lord, my beautiful, fantastic GoPro or Mac webcam, but we're not using that. So let me flip back over here. Hopefully I'm up. Am I up? I don't know. We'll see here. Hold on. We're going to try this. Hold on. Hang in there with me. I'm not too sure why it is that it does this, but it does. Okay, so hang in there with me real quick. In fact, I'm going to have to go over to that for just 1 second. Sorry to do that to you, okay? I got to actually see what's happening on the screen here, and bingo bango, now we're back, okay? Sorry about that. This is my mobile rig. Mike and I are working on it, and it's not going to be like this all the time. It's just like, it's this right now. Sorry. I don't know why this goes out. I think it might be set on a timer or something, but I swear yesterday we resolved that. Anyhow, moving on, you should hear me fine. So if that happens again, don't freak out, okay? Thank you so much, by the way. We have 136 folks in here, 36 thumbs up. That means 100 of you didn't hit thumbs up. Please do that now. And my ex-wife is on here, and she just thumbed this down. So, all right. So let's talk about some specifics. And I actually wrote down, or I have in my little notepad here, some specifics for folks that, for the most common paths that people want to take, okay? And I'll tell you what some of those paths are. Here we go. You ready? A rhythm player, a lead player, a singer-songwriter, a fingerstyle guitar player, and a blues player. We could even throw, balladeer, campfire guitar, cowboy guitar, or something like that. Thank you so much for everybody that thumbs up. Good karma to you. That's right, good karma. It's coming through the screen to you. Good love, lots of good love and vibrations and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about some of these things. So, I have folks say to me all the time, they're like, well, why don't I learn the modes? I really need to learn the modes. And they think that magically if they learn the modes or some sort of chord that people don't use very often, that they're going to tap into some sort of thing like the Indiana Jones or something. It just doesn't work like that. 99.9% of everything that you're hearing, whether that's Van Halen or Zeppelin or Jimi Hendrix or whomever, is real simple stuff. It's the major scale and all its derivatives. The major scale, which would give you the minor scale, which would give you the major and minor pentatonic. Yes, it will give you all the jazz modes as well, but we're not using them. Okay, so 99.9% of the time you're using real simple stuff in music. The stuff that you love, chances are, is very simple stuff. Okay, even if they're playing it fast Yngwie Malmsteen. It's still all diatonic. It's all the major scale, the derivative of the major scale, which is the minor scale. He uses a little bit of Phrygian mode, which is, again, the major scale, but looked at a different way. We're not going to get into all that, but I can promise you that if you want to get good at guitar, focus on the basics. Get the basics down. These folks that are so into their ego and think that they can't be bothered with the foundational stuff. That's like a kid going, man, I don't want to. Thanks for all the thumbs up here, by the way. People go, I don't want. I don't want to learn all the basic stuff. I just want the advanced stuff. That's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous notion. I've never seen it work in any facet of life whatsoever. And so, it's just kind of goofy, okay? So the more you can embrace those basics, and anybody who knows anything about anything will tell you that it's all about the basics, especially guitar. Any great guitar player, man, they'll say, man, I don't know much. I just know this and this. I just know the pentatonic scale. I just know the blues scale. I just know it's basics, okay? And you can take that and do a lot of stuff with it, okay? So let's talk about this for a moment. A blues player is going to be total, or let's say a balladeer, a campfire guitarist is going to be totally different in his or her needs and his or her focus than, say, somebody who wants to be a Nashville studio player. Totally different, okay? So, for instance, Anthony, thank you so much for the donation. Super kind. I learned that I can do some fun stuff here, like do this for for donations, and I have other noises too. If you want to donate, we'll see what's on here. There's a lot of fun stuff. So, I got this really fun software that we're using right now. It's actually the software that we use all the time, but Mike makes it look real pretty. Okay, so if you want to be a studio guitar player, there's lots of things you need to know, but you don't need to know everything. I jokingly say that sometimes, but there's a lot of things one needs to know as a studio guitar player, but believe it or not, it's not as many things as you think, but there are some things you really need to have in spades. Okay, let's talk about some examples here. This will help you to understand exactly what I'm talking about. And maybe you'll fit into one of these, and then I'm going to take your questions. I can pull them onto the screen, your questions, so I'll do that in a minute here. And then we can drill down specifically to what you want, okay? So, for instance, a blues player. If you want to be a great blues player, here are the things to focus on first. And I'm going to use one more analogy here, okay? If you want to learn Spanish, if you want to go to Brazil, and you want, or they Portuguese there, isn't it? I think it's Portuguese. If you want to be a world traveler, but you find that only the places that you travel to speak Spanish, why wouldn't you just focus on Spanish, right? It doesn't help you to learn Russian, because now you're wasting time. You're usurping time that you could be learning Spanish in order to do this other thing, okay? So, in the same way, if you want to be a great blues player, learning your jazz modes, although it'd be great if you know your jazz modes, but I say, will it be great? Then you can tell people at a party, I know my jazz modes, and they're going to be like, okay, I really don't care. What they want you to do is they want you to play. And if you play great blues, doesn't matter. Okay? Justin Johnson, the great slide player on YouTube, if you haven't seen him, he's probably not running his jazz modes, but he's practicing his slide and his blues licks a lot, because that's what he does, and he's a beast at it, okay? So if we're a blues player, here's some of the things that you might want to focus on. The 12-bar blues, knowing it inside and out, and the construction of that chord progression, because you're going to use that 99% of the time, right? Not going to be playing jazz progressions. The blues scale, know it inside and out, all the different forms, and how to play the licks using my minimalistic blues or any of the other bits, learning licks from other people. Learn how to improvise. Blues is all about improvisation. If you can't improvise, then you need to focus on those sorts of things, right? Knowing your seventh chords, a seventh chord, a dominant chord, knowing that all over the neck, using like the cage system like I teach, C-A-G-E-D. By the way, any of these things, if you're looking for it, you can always search YourGuitarSage modes, YourGuitarSage blues, YourGuitarSage caged, YourGuitarSage tuning, whatever it is, search YourGuitarSage in that thing, you'll find it. Seventh chords. Some folks use ninth chords and more so, but extending those chords is a very helpful thing. Turnarounds, right? When you hear this, like the learning your boogie woogie licks. That's what I'm doing here. And I'm also learning different forms of the chord, you know. Turnaround. Right? So you need to know turnarounds. These are all things. You can search YourGuitarSage turnarounds. I'll teach that to you on YouTube. All right? Phrasing. You need to learn how to phrase, right? In blues, we're it's not like rock. I mean, it's similar to, but we're going to learn phrases like right? We're going to learn little things like that, phrases like we're speaking. If you don't think that way, you need to think that way, and the only way to think that way is to watch videos or lean into a player that's doing that already, okay? Okay, if you're a rhythm player, obviously you want to focus on chords. You want to focus on inversions, okay? Inversions, which taking the chord and flipping it kind of upside down, if you will. All these things, if you have questions about them, I'll answer them here, but for the most part, I've got videos on these, okay? Playing to a click is really important because as a rhythm player, you need to be really good at timing, right? Sure you do. The cage system. Understanding that you can play the same chord, C, here, 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 the same chord. It's the same chord by name. It's a C chord, and you can do that with all the major chords. And the way I teach it in the Unstoppable Guitar System, you can do it multiple ways, okay? Many, many, many ways. I forgot to tell you guys, something amazing is about to happen. Forgot to tell you this. It literally just came to mind. If you... in fact, hopefully we have this in the description. Yeah, we do, because Mike's a ninja. In the description of this video, if you get emails from me, ignore the next 20, 30 seconds. Ignore it. Go get yourself a coffee, take a pee break, whatever. If you do not get emails from me, and you are not in the Unstoppable Guitar System, this is all I can tell you, click the first link that's in the description of this video. Two things. If you are not a member of the Unstoppable Guitar System, like many people are. By the way, if you're a member of UGS right now, give me a thumbs up. Give everybody, or say UGS. Do that. Say UGS. Big smiley face or something like that. And let folks know that you love it, okay? But if you are not in the Unstoppable Guitar System, UGS, if you don't get emails from me, those two things, click that link. Okay, or just if you don't get emails from me, because we got something big that's happening this weekend. Is it this weekend? Yeah, it's this weekend. Yeah, this weekend. Okay, that's all I can tell you. So click that link. Okay, cool. UGS, love it. Thank you so much. These folks are in UGS. It's absolutely transformed their playing. It can transform your playing as well, and we're going to get it more into that. Let me jump back into here. Okay, we have something really cool happening next week too. But we'll get into it. I got so much stuff to tell you, okay? All right, rhythm, the cage system. You can search YourGuitarSage Caged. I have a whole series inside the Unstoppable Guitar System. I teach it major, I teach minor, I teach seventh chords. It's pretty amazing, okay? Cage system, got to know the cage system. Triads, knowing your triads, so around the fretboard. Knowing these going up the fretboard, knowing them on all the different strings, knowing the inversions of that. I teach it all inside the Unstoppable Guitar System. It's amazing. But you don't, I mean, I have lots of videos on YouTube, so I'm not pitching that. I'd love you to be in there like these other folks are. I really would love you to be in there. But got lots of free videos on YouTube as well for those that just like, I'm never going to pay for a guitar lesson for the rest of my life. Never going to do it. I have stuff to help you out. Okay, triads, really good. Chordal theory is important because if you're playing it as a rhythm player in a band, someone says, hey, play a 13th chord, and you're like, man, I've never played one, but I remember what Eric said. He said it's a dominant chord, or a 9th or an 11th chord, actually, but then throw in the 13 as well. You can figure out the formula, do the math, It's not that hard. I promise you. You got to learn the pieces, right? Just like math. If for someone that doesn't know how to do division, well, division's going to be hard. But if you learn about addition and subtraction and multiplication, division becomes easy, right? It's not hard. Okay, chordal theory. Supporting the rest of the band, meaning, you really holding down a groove, just like the drummer and the bass player, okay? So, sorry, just checking if my camera's plugged in. It is. Thanks for all the thumbs up to you folks out there. Beautiful. That's more than half of you. Thank you. Okay, lead players. I'm going to go lead, singer-songwriter, and then fingerstyle, and then I'm going to take your questions, okay? Going longer than I really wanted to. Okay, lead player. Scales, obviously, those are going to be what you're using, right? Scales, licks. So learning to phrase. Someone was asking me, they said, man, I know all these scales, Eric, but I'm not able to play solos like you. Well, think about this. As a baby, if a baby wants to speak, everybody knows what do. You hand them the dictionary, right? You hand them a dictionary, and then you just teach them phonics, and then now they know how to speak, right? No. They don't even learn from the daggone dictionary. They learn by listening to their mom and dad speak. They're mimicking them. Someone drops something on their foot, they say, sugar, plum, or whatever they say, and now the kid repeats it. Or they, whatever. My kid does it all the time. Everything's in perfect context because I said it in context, and he knows in that moment, if you're mad, you say blank, and if you're happy, you say blank, and if you're whatever, he knows the context, and that's how our brains work. Our brains retrieve that information, it comes out our mouth. So, in that same way, when you learn licks, you're learning how to speak the language. If you're listening to lots of heavy metal, and you want to play blues, probably not going to sound very bluesy. You're going to sound more metal. So listen to blues players if you like play blues. Okay. Licks. Improvisation. We need to learn to improvise if we're lead player. Again, triads are good, so you can create arpeggios. Following the chord progression, like understanding what chord is happening when, because I've said it before, it's just like in a conversation. If we're speaking, if you're changing the conversation in the middle, I need to move with you. Here we go again. Love this business. This is a lot of fun. Hang in there, hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. Jeez. Dear Lord. Hang in there. Hang in there with me, friends. That's annoying. That is so flippin' annoying. Hang in there with me. I don't like that at all, friends. I don't like that at all. Hang in there with me. GoPro. Jeez, man. Watch this. Here we go. It must be that daggone 15-minute thing. That is about annoying. There we go. We good now? Yeah, we are. That sucks, guys. Sorry. This is what we're dealing with right now, okay? And we are frozen. Am I frozen? Are you serious? Psh. Beautiful. Okay. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go to this cam. GoPro, you suck. You suck, GoPro. All right, here we are. Hi. For that 80s soft porn look. Sorry. All right, so let's get real, okay? I'm sorry about that. I think you guys are probably here, hopefully, for the content anyhow. So, yes, I will, Mike. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is this is more intimate anyhow. Okay, so because I can actually see your comments and all the rest. So sorry for the sucky GoPro there. Okay, so last thing for lead guitars, you need a pair of spandex pants. All right. Show the ladies the armadillo. Okay, here we go. Singer-songwriter. If you're a singer-songwriter, you don't need to know a bunch of scales. You don't need to know a bunch of stuff. Really, what you need to know is open chords. You need to know some chord noodling. What I mean by that is stuff like this, where we're doing like... except in tune, probably, So what I mean by that is you know what notes to embellish in order to make your song sound nice, okay? Your Guitar Sage, Chord Noodling. Just search that on YouTube if you want more about that. Creativity, as a singer-songwriter, obviously, you need to be creative. Lyrics. My wife is downstairs writing right now. She's doing a Zoom call while I'm doing this. No, Mike, she's not on the Wi-Fi network. She's using cellular, so it doesn't step on my toes. Okay. Open. Creativity. So, need to be creative and think outside the box as a songwriter, which is different than, say, like a blues player, because, yeah, you still need to be creative, but the only thing you need to be creative about is your lead lines, your chords a little bit, but you're not thinking, it's a different type of creativity, right? One might say that a blues player does one thing, might say that, the kids from the Beatles, right, Harrison and Lennon and Ringo and McCartney, that they were much more creative in that way because they were thinking outside the box, doing some different things. So that's important as a singer-songwriter. How to use capos, very important to understand how to change keys and use chords in the different context of, say, like the Cage system. Okay, I said I would get into fingerstyle. I'm not going to. I think that was enough for right now because I'm gone way over what I want to do here. I really want to get to your questions, okay? Let's get to your questions here. And, man, I'm just going to start from right now. Is that okay? I'm just going to start from right now. And let's start with Maverick here. Maverick is saying, do you think learning bar chords is a must or is avoiding them okay? Maverick, it depends what you want to do. If you're fine with just like cowboy chord type songs and that sort of thing, then I think it's great. It's totally fine. And in fact, if you understand, I have a video on, definitely I have a whole series for this inside. I think it's a whole series inside of UGS, but maybe on YouTube, if you were to search YourGuitarSage key of C and G, YourGuitarSage key of C and G, see if you can find that. But essentially what I do is I teach you how to use the capo and keep things in the feel of C and G, the two most used keys that really allow you to stay away from many bar chords, okay? So I would encourage you to learn bar chords, but in time, right? We don't learn multiplication before we learn addition, so learn addition first. Same thing, learn your open chords and learn how to use a capo first. Then eventually your hands are going to get strong and you probably are going to want some open chords, okay? Okay. A GoPro can fall from an airplane into the ocean and continue working at the bottom, but play from a stand in a living room? No. Anthony, it's so true. It's unbelievable. Okay, some of these I'm just throwing up on the screen before I'm even reading them. What's your opinion about buskers? Some of them play incredibly well, and they don't or ever had a studio to play. What do you think about the buskers? It's a great question, Marcos. And here's the deal. Whatever you do in repetition, you're going to get good at. It's impossible not to. Okay? That is the way that's adaptation. That's the core of adaptation, right? It's that you end up getting good at whatever you do over and over and over again. You adapt to it. So a busker who gets fired from his job or whatever reason he's busking, right? Could just want to do it. That's cool too. Sitting in that basement for 6, 8, 10 hours a day, playing the same 20, 30 songs, might get good at it. In fact, he might get good at them that day. Yeah, buskers are really good at what they do because they hyper-focus on, that's a perfect example, okay? They don't need a studio. They're literally doing the same thing over and over and over again. They're going to get really, really good at it, okay? So that's a great example of exactly what I'm talking about here, which is literally focusing on one particular thing and then getting good at it, okay? Okay. Paul is saying, I'm learning. What are chord progressions? I don't get it. Chord progressions are a progression of chords. So, for instance, here's a chord, here's a chord, here's a chord, here's a chord, and together they make a progression. Sorry for this guitar being so crazily out of tune. All right, we're not studio ready here. Should you make up? Let's do this one here. Should you make up your melody first, then your lyrics? I do. That's how I work. I like to write a chord progression first, then I write a melody, depending on, the chord progression typically evokes a melody for me, and then the melody typically evokes the lyrics for me. And I find that that works really well, because if it's a chord progression that's somewhat sobering, then the melody will probably be sobering, and then I'll write lyrics that are sobering. So, like, that's always been my thing. But here, if you're a songwriter and you're wanting to extend yourself as a songwriter, you're wanting to get better, what I would love to see you do is do different things. Write from the melody first, write from the chord progression first, write from the lyrics first. So it's many different things that you can do. Write from the idea first. My wife is a professional songwriter. She's a beast at what she does. She's got a course on Udemy. And she will write from the idea almost every single time first. So the idea, guy walks into a bar. She wrote that one. Okay, here I have the song. It's about this guy. From the old joke, guy walks into a bar, and then the punchline is that he finds a girl, they break up, and then he's back in the bar. Long story short, they write it from the idea first, okay? But there's many different ways that you can do it, and it's good to vary it, okay? Okay, all right, good. Do you think visualizing the chords on the fretboard is as important as knowing the pentatonic scales while improvising? Al, that's a great question. Just an old guy. I'm sure you're more than just an old guy, Al. In fact, I know Al's inside the Unstoppable Guitar System, so he's got to be smart, for sure. Okay. Look, 122 of you thumbing up. That's beautiful. Thanks, friends. Do you visualize the chords on the fretboard as? Yes, it is as important. Oh, look. James just donated some money, so you know what that means. That means I'm going to come here and see if I got a fun little noise here. I love that. Yeah, so I'm finding all sorts of fun things I can do with this software. It's very important, visualizing the chords, because arpeggios are there. Not only are arpeggios there, but there's so many things. I mean, the actual chord is right there, right? So, like, if I have the pentatonic scale here, right, and I have the major chord right there. So, absolutely, and I do teach that, friends, inside the Unstoppable Guitar System. I teach the Cage system, but I also teach it from a lead standpoint, and it makes a big difference, okay? All right. Oh, yes. Someone's saying, I haven't heard any songs that your wife has written. You mentioned them. Okay. So if you know country music, then you would know some of her songs. If you don't know country music, you're not know many of her songs. So she had the fireworks show that was at the at Disney, that literally they just ended it just maybe like a month ago, and everybody was so upset. It was Happily Ever After. She wrote that big theme song that they wrote the whole firework display from. But she's written songs for Carrie Underwood. She's written songs for so the one for Carrie Underwood was on the first album, and it's called That's Where It Is. She wrote a couple songs for Garth Brooks. I tell you what, if you just search Melissa Pierce, Peirce, then I won't have to go into all the stuff that she's written. But she's written a lot of great songs. She's also written songs for Lady Antebellum. Oh my goodness, David Nail, Reba McEntire. She wrote "Guy Walks Into a Bar" for Tyler Farr. She is a beast at what she does. She's amazing. Okay. Waiting for the worship course. Okay, so this is waiting for the worship course to get playing in front. I'm going to move this here. To get to playing in front of a church, what would you suggest? Dennis, I'd say wait for the course to come out. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be very helpful. Okay, so yeah. Wait for that course to come out. Or just get out there. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to mess up? So, who hasn't messed up on stage, right? All right. I'm looking here. Okay. Here. I see recommendations. I see recommendations of learning songs from the start. What if I don't like those beginner songs? Should I force through some or wait until later? What are you waiting for? I'm not sure. If you don't like the beginner songs, don't do the beginner songs. Do a song that you like, but understand that it's more challenging. So it's kind of like going to the weights. It's like going to play weights or going to play weights. It's like going to the gym and you're lifting weights and you say, you're going to lift weights and you're like, man, I don't have time to condition myself. I'm just going to lift heavy weights. You can do that. You're really going to be challenged. So as long as you're okay with that. But here's what happens. We don't know when our minds are weak. What our minds do when they're weak is they just start believing something else so that we don't have to face the stark reality of, okay, well, I think I probably can't lift this weight. So I would say just understand that if you're going into it, if you're going to learn some harder songs, just understand that sometimes your brain might say, hey, this is too hard for you. You should probably quit guitar. You're not cut out for it. You weren't born into a guitar or musical family. Those are the lies I'm talking about. It's not true. So you got to be careful about that. You have to really watch that sort of mental game that happens, okay? Lady Annabellum, yes, she wrote a song, a beautiful song that I love, but she's written so many great songs that I honestly forget. So yeah, check that out, friends. Check her wiki page out. In fact, you guys are welcome to put stuff like that in the comment section here. You can always grab a link and throw it in there, and then people can check it out. Okay. All right. Marcos is saying, I've been playing all the sounds I hear. It is interesting to notice that my ears are getting familiar to the sounds, and my guitar brings it. What is your opinion of practicing daily? Marcus, I am a big fan of practicing daily. I'm a big fan of practicing as often as possible. Okay, but I also believe in spurt practicing. So like yesterday, or not yesterday. So I didn't practice yesterday, but the day before I practiced for hours because I was on a tear with these 2-string arpeggios, some of which I teach inside of the Unstoppable Guitar System, but I have a whole series that I'm planning in my mind right now. This is what happens when I leave the studio and I go to a different place. So I have a whole series that I'm going to come out with that it's going to be super helpful. But I'm a big fan of practicing every day. I'm also a big fan of really digging in. And if you are on a tear, be on that tear and really dig in and have fun. So that may mean not practicing one particular day and practicing a ton another day. Okay? Okay, so Carrie is saying, I'm still weak at changing chords, so what is the best way to practice getting better? So, Carrie, this is going to sound like a cop-out, but I can promise you it's not. Whatever you're not good at, do that thing. I know, but I'm so bad at it. Well, you're bad at it because you don't do it. Okay, this is where the psychology comes in. This is why I use a lot of psychology in my own teaching, is because psychology is everything. Psychology of money, psychology of working out, psychology of relationships, psychology of playing guitar. If you can't psychologically set yourself up for success, there's no thing that's going to help you. So whatever we practice, our brain builds neural paths, right? So if you practice scales, are you going to get better at chords? Nope. You're going to get better at scales. It doesn't mean that you're not going to build some dexterity and it's not going to help some with chords, but it's definitely going to help. If you want to get better at chords, practicing your chords is definitely going to help much quicker than than practicing scales. If you want to get good at scales, practice scales. So, Carrie, practice your. One thing that you can do is you can take a capo, right? Put it somewhere around the 4th or 5th fret, then play your chords. It's going to make playing the chords easier, which is going to encourage you, which is going to make you play the guitar more, longer practices. More often you're going to pick it up, which is going to make you a better player. It's going to make those chords better because you're practicing more, okay? Changing from chord to chord, that's the way to get good at it. That's what I call transitions. Search Your Guitar Sage transitions or Your Guitar Sage chords. You'll probably find the video that I have on YouTube, which basically says, okay, if you want to get good at going from the C chord to the F chord, practice going from the C chord to the F chord and the F chord to the C chord. But practice it the way that I show you, which is very intentional and thinking before you do something. So if I'm jumping from one rock to the next to cross a stream, I'm not going to jump up off of one rock and then start looking for the next rock. I'm going to jump from one rock, or I'm going to stay on that rock. I'm going to size up the next rock, and then I'm going to jump. I'm going to prepare myself mentally to get to there. So if I'm on a C chord, I'm going to think about that next chord before I jump to it. I don't lift my fingers up and go, okay, now how's that F chord go? Oh, yeah, it goes like this and this and this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just literally think about it ahead of time, because that's how our brains work, right? You got to think about what it is that you're going to do before you actually do it. Okay. Okay. Fabian, no, it is literally the angle here. Okay, I got a goofy thing going on here with my my setup here, so just hang in there with me today. Thanks. Anything on staying motivated and going to guitar again and again? Yeah, so I like songs. I mean, I'm a big fan of songs. So if you love playing songs, find songs that move you, that make you go, oh, I gotta pick up that guitar right now. I've got to do it. If I don't do it, I'm gonna go nuts. Do that, okay? Also, like I said, just it's really helpful if you have other instruction, because other instruction will crack the egg. If you just sit and wait to be inspired, it's probably not going to happen. But if you look, man, there is a rule in the universe. You could think I'm a whack job. That's okay, because it works for me like bonkers. And the fruit that I get from this thing right here that I'm about to tell you is huge. Okay, if you lean into something, the universe is going to wait for it, is going to meet you, okay? Call it God, call it the universe, call it whatever you want. It's all intertwined to me anyhow. It will meet you. What I mean by that is this. The person who sits on their bed next to their guitar, got their guitar next to them, and they just look at it, and they're like, why am I not being inspired? I hope I get inspired today. I hope I get inspired today. I hope I get inspired. I hope I get inspired. Ooh, God, I hope I get inspired. And they do that. That guy isn't going to get inspired. He's not going to get anything because he isn't doing anything. He's not doing anything. The universe is looking at him going, you ain't doing jack crap. But the guy who pulls up a video and it's like, God, this is hard, and leaning into it, right? That's the guy that's going to get something. That's the gal who's going to get something. And this is true with guitar or anything in life, right? The guy who keeps saying, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I really should lose weight. God, I want to lose weight. It doesn't matter how many times he says that. He ain't going to lose weight. The guy who says, maybe I'll hang out with some people who are fit and do what they do. That guy's going to lose weight. Maybe if that guy goes, I'm going to buy a treadmill, that guy's going to, chances are, is going to be better at losing weight than the guy who keeps saying I should lose weight or I want to lose weight. Okay? You got to lean into it or the universe doesn't meet you. Okay? But something happens as soon as you start saying I want this thing and you start leaning into that direction, the universe meets you. It really does, man. You can think it's crazy, but I've lived my life 2 different ways. And the second way, definitely much better. Okay, Marcos is saying, what is your opinion about learning Spanish songs? They're bloody skillful, don't they? Yeah, I mean, yeah, flamenco. Is that what you mean? Flamenco style? It's definitely very much like that. Lead singer for our band, Gabriel. The band's called Gabriel the Bull. You can check them out online. That is very flamenco, very Spanish guitar driven. And yeah, it's super cool stuff, you know? Okay, Achilles saying, when you do chord progressions, can you add a fourth chord from a scale or stick to the three chords? I don't know what you mean from the scale. Yeah, from the key, you definitely can do that. Okay, you definitely can do that. You can play a song with one chord, two chords, three chords, four chords, five chords. It's up to you. It really depends on what it is that you want to do, right? Here's a three-chord song or progression, right? C, F, G, right? Or you can go C, A minor, F, G. You know, you can go. I mean, the possibilities are truly endless. Okay. How do you split time between the acoustic and the electric? Well, for me, what I do is I just it's as I'm inspired. So if I have a bunch of electric stuff I want to do, that's what I do. I don't think, I think sometimes we think about this stuff too much instead of just doing. Again, the universe wants to see doers. It doesn't give a crap about thinkers. I mean, it's all right. You got to think a little bit before you do something, but the universe wants doers, not thinkers. So if you're just like, man, I just want to play acoustic today, then just do that. Totally fine. You don't need an excuse. Just do it because you like doing it. And then if you want to play electric at some point, do that. You could say, I'm going to practice 8 hours a day and 4 hours on acoustic, 4 hours on electric, but don't paint yourself in a corner like that. Just have fun. That's your only excuse you need, okay? Lean in and dig in, Larry. That's right. It's exactly right, friend. Yeah. How do you practice fingerstyle? Well, first you have to learn fingerstyle. So here's what I want you to do. Okay, if you guys go, if by the way, anybody who hasn't, if you go to, and I just posted on the screen there, if you go to this, it's in the chat as well. If you go to YourGuitarSage.com/30, then you will literally be able to learn fingerstyle and 33-ish of my most popular lessons, the ones that move the needle the furthest. So if you want to learn, again, how do you learn fingerstyle? How do you practice fingerstyle? You learn it first, to learn the right way to do it, and then you just practice it, okay? If that doesn't answer your question, then maybe answer it a different way or ask a different way, okay? Kilroy is saying, I'm into fingerpicking. Is there a roadmap in UGS that I can follow so I know what's relevant for me? Yeah, Kilroy. Literally, the link that I just posted, that's the one. Go to that, and I have a PDF for you that's got lots of exercises in the order that you should learn them, not in some order that's going to freak you out, make you frustrated, make you want to bash your guitar, that sort of thing, okay? Thank you, Drew. So kind. Yes. Thank you very much. Very kind. Okay. I don't know what this is, but Fabian's saying, hey, I can play basic blues rhythm in any key quite comfortably, but recently I've been trying to throw in some lead lines from minor pentatonic in between chords, but I struggle to keep rhythm. Any tips? Fabian, yeah, I mean, truly it's all about practice, but I'll tell you what, I know what you're saying here. One way to get good at this, Fabian, is to really integrate the chord progression, because it's like this. We're either thinking consciously or subconsciously. When you're driving the car and you're talking with your mom on the phone and okay, that's what you're doing. You're talking with your mom on the phone while you're driving. You're subconsciously driving the car and you're consciously talking because your mom's like, did you wash behind your ears today? Did you practice your guitar? Did you do those things? Whatever. And you have to consciously, you're in the moment. You have to answer that question right then. But if you're driving to work and you've driven that way several hundred times, then you don't really have to consciously think about that. You just remember all the places and you go there, right? So in the same way, Fabian, if you're playing rhythm and lead, chances are your conscious brain is going to be more on the lead stuff and your subconscious is going to be more on the rhythm stuff. So you really want to integrate into your subconscious those rhythms. And the way that you're going to do that is to consciously do them over and over and over again until they really start becoming part of you, okay? Over time, that's what happens. Okay, that's what happens. Yeah, I thought I was saying that wrong. So another way to do it is to go just like hit a chord, just be like. And just integrate. But one way that I do this is I just do one chord on the one. You know, on the one, and then play your lick. Start there. Once you get more familiar with that, then you can start getting a little bit more complex. But that's like a quick way to integrate both and to not have as much of a problem. Okay, but yeah, you're going to struggle because you're learning it, right? Absolutely. Wouldn't it be weird for us to just pick up the guitar and be able to play like Hendrix or Stevie Ray Vaughan? It'd be weird because those guys didn't do it either. They had to practice a lot. Okay, so why wouldn't we have to, right? Cool. Okay. I've asked my wife for a Guitar Pro 6 and a Gibson Play for a year. What would you suggest? Here is what I would suggest, Roy. I would suggest getting into UGS Standard for free. Okay? Get into UGS Standard for free. Tux Guitar is free. If it's money that you're worried about, Tux Guitar is free, and it works very similarly to Guitar Pro. Gibson Play, I don't even know what that is. So, but they're probably trying to be like the Unstoppable Guitar System. So why not just go with the original? You can get in there for free. YourGuitarSage.com/30. I put that link in there earlier. So just jump on in there, okay? Or better yet, go for the Pro. Or better yet, wait for this weekend. Yeah, something's going to happen this weekend. Again, oh yeah, let me tell you. If you're not in the Unstoppable Guitar System, if you're not getting emails from me, click the very first link below this video. Because something very special is going to be announced this weekend. Can't tell you what it is. That's all I'm telling you, okay? Roy's giving me a question mark here. I've asked my wife for Guitar Pro and Gibson Play for a year. What would you suggest? I'm not sure what you have to get more detail with me about that question mark, Roy. I'm not inside your head, so I don't know what you mean. New wife, my real knees said, my knees, my real knees hurt. Okay, we'll do, man. Yeah, get in there, Roy. I promise you, man. Look, has anybody gone through UGS Standard? If you've gone through UGS Standard, just so Roy knows, put the number 30 in the comment section here, okay? Give him 30 and then a thumbs up or a happy face or something so he knows exactly what we're talking about, that it really will move the needle forward. We're only going to go about 7 more minutes here. Roy, I've literally spent the majority of my life, since about 14 years old, being obsessed with guitar. Okay, obsessed with guitar. Started teaching when I was about 16 to buddies of mine that were at high school, and I've loved teaching. I was literally walking on the beach this morning, kind of going over this whole thing about how I started and how I got to where I'm at and all the rest. And it had everything to do with passion. It had everything to do with wanting to help people and loving guitar. Those two things, and those two things came together, and that's where I'm at today with all this stuff. But the 30 lessons that I'm talking about here, it's actually like 34 lessons that I give you for free. Thank you for everybody who's putting 30 there, and the folks that are saying pro, like Al here, just means that they went to the pro level of it. 30 in pro, Humasen. But I was very passionate about creating something to help folks, hence the Unstoppable Guitar System. And I know that some folks can't afford it. They're in different countries, or the exchange rate is different. I obviously need to be able to buy food for my family. In order for me to do that, I need to charge something, or I'm going to go work someplace else, and I'm not going to be doing live broadcasts with you, or any of the other stuff that I do to help you learn guitar. So obviously, there has to be some path where I make money, right? For something. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. You wouldn't see me. I'd be sitting in an office somewhere. But the 30, we've had literally, I don't know how many, over 500,000 folks go through that. Over 500,000? No, way more than that. I've had 500,000 people pay for my courses. So I don't know how many people have taken that free course. I can't even tell you. A lot. Okay, a lot more than 500,000. But nonetheless, go through that path because I'm very passionate about teaching, and it will absolutely help you. Okay, Roy? It's a great question. Okay, have you ever had your pinky on the fretting hand start acting up, having a mind of its own, or moving involuntarily after playing for a long time? Sure, yeah, it's just the muscles. You're just getting tired there, Anthony. It's literally just your muscles. So it's got to get conditioned. Look how far away that little pinky is from this thumb. When we pick something up like a phone, we pick it up like this, mainly with our first finger. This is a little bit weird. This is very weird. That's extremely weird and awkward feeling because over the millennia, our thumb has remained close to this finger and not so close to this finger, and so this is awkward. That's why we have exercises like exercise 2 inside your UGuitarSage or Unstoppable Guitar System Standard, right? Which is the one that I give you guys, right? It's this one if you haven't been in it. So go to that. Just drop that into the chat there, okay? You in an office, that's absurd. I know, right? Wouldn't that be weird? I was. All right. All right, we're going to go about another 4 minutes here, man. Thank you so much, Robert. So kind of you. Oh, thank you. You're so welcome, Jim. So, friends, if you are a U.S. veteran or current, active military, I provide the entire Unstoppable Guitar System to you for free because we love you and we appreciate you as you should be appreciated by everybody else in our country. So I appreciate you, and I'm sorry for our government sucking in their appreciation for you, but it sucks, and I'll just say it. They just suck. They should step up. It's cowardly and ridiculous that they don't care more for you. But we do, and there's individuals that are very appreciative for what you've done for our country. So I thank you, and much love to you. And it's free. The Unstoppable Guitar System is normally $685. So we've given so many of those away. I think I counted it up the other day. It was over $1.5 million worth of guitar lessons we've given away to veterans. And that makes me happy. I would like to do it for orphans as well. If anybody knows how to do that, has any connections to an organization, because obviously if it's one orphanage, that's fine too. I can do that too. I'd love to give a guitar away. And Roy, oh, what the heck, man, I'm about to cry. There you go, Roy. If you're a veteran, bro, get in there. Mike, thank you so much for posting that. Mike is a veteran. He is a Marine. He's a badass, and yeah, there you go. So, oh, good, Roy. There you go. Get in there for free, pal. Would love to help you out. And then once you're in there, say hey to me, man. I would love to do this for orphans too. So if anybody has a way to do that, if you know some thing that I can do to give that away to orphans, I would love to. I've been to orphanages before, and it just it breaks your heart. And I've been to orphanages that were in highfalutin places in town, but you got these kids that just cling to you because there's definitely no man in their life. There's not many women in their life. There's no one because they don't have parents. And so, man, I can tell you that music for me, here come the waterworks. I'm getting all choked up now. For me, music has absolutely changed my life. It's absolutely transformed my life, saved my life, I would say. Probably saved my life, kept me from doing things that I ought not to do in my past. Not there anymore. I'm a very happy person now, but music has always helped me. And what a beautiful thing to lean into when you're down, right? Music absolutely changes. Oh, look, Roy is saying, I just had my 7th surgery on my knee from the Marine Corps Monday, and the 13th was my birthday. Oh, I love that, Roy. Yay. Everybody give a hand for Roy. Tell Roy we appreciate him and we appreciate all the veterans. I love that. See, this is literally this is what makes my day, man. It's stuff like that. Walking on the beach this morning, I was just like, Lord, help me. And I don't pray very often because I don't know really what I think about prayer. No offense, I grew up Christian and stuff, but anymore, I just think I'm the prayer. I can go do something instead of throwing it up to God and waiting for Him to do something. I'm sure He's busy if He's out there doing anything. I don't know how it works. I'm just don't be offended, but I just don't know how it works. So, but I sure as shit can do something, and that's what I'm trying to do. So, that's beautiful, Roy. Thank you for letting me know that. Yay, man. What a perfect fit, right? Love it, love it, love it. Fantastic. All right. Friends, we're at the end of our hour. I didn't want to leave you guys in the lurch here. Really quickly, again, last thing. If you do not get emails from me, I have a very special announcement this weekend. Click the very first link below this video. We'll look and make sure I know it's there. I saw it. It's right there. It's like a little paragraph and you'll see it, okay? And we have something coming up. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Thank you for writing that in the thing, Mike, in the description there. We are also giving away a guitar. Does that excite you? So if you're not on the email list, even if you do not want this massive announcement that's going to happen this weekend, I'm going to be giving away a guitar. I'm going to be giving away a Taylor guitar, to be accurate. Not this cheapy, a real nice Taylor. I'm going to be giving one away on December the 18th. So prepare for that. If you're not part of my email list, you ain't going to know about it. And I don't want that to happen to you. So click that first link that's below. For everybody that joined me today, thank you so much. If you gave this a thumbs up, a special thank you to you, because that helps the algorithm and helps other folks learn how to play guitar. And look, Roy came here and he got himself a course today because he's a veteran. So I love that. And that's because of thumbs up and all that other good stuff, okay? So friends, yeah, happy birthday to Roy. There you go. We're going to do something special for Roy here. We're going to say that right there. That's for Roy. Okay, friends, I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Hit that link below. The announcement's going to happen this weekend. You don't want to miss that. I love you guys. I'm out of here.